All right, there. Let's see. I had a question about whether or not this tack drive, which is unused because there's no tack on the bike, no tack, no tack. Whether it could be stopping the bike from making a full revolution. Excuse me. I don't think it is, but I've cleaned off all the grease, and I'm gonna take it off and try to see if I can rotate the engine. So I'll get back with you. Step one is to take the end cap off. Let's see if I can zoom in. There it is. And it's off. Step two is to use a magnet just to pull this drive gear out of here. There you go. This tang on the end will break off. I've had several come out of there with that broken off. And don't know why, but they do. So anyway, see if tack drive isn't working, and it's probably that tang broken off. So now we get to take the rest of the unit off, and that's done with usually a 7/16" socket, and I will get that and give it a try. Half of the bikes I work on that the internal nut is clockwise, and half I work on it is counterclockwise, left-handed thread, right-handed thread, right-handed versus left-handed. Half of them are one, half of the other. Hang on. All right, so let's try this. And this one is left-handed thread. So in this case, it's righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. I'm doing this one-handed while hanging onto the camera. All right, the two things of interest are, first of all, this washer on the end of it with the O-ring built into it is the same washer that gets used on petcocks. Flat washer with a built-in O-ring. And I can't do it by one-handed, but anyway, that's what it is. Okay, second thing, I just realized, look at that. Look at the bottom, the whole driven part is gone. And it looks like somebody beat the bloody heck out of this thing. Huh. How interesting. Let's see if this will fit through here. Nope, looks like it's filled with epoxy. Okay, well, that's neat. In case you don't know, if this ever happens to you, the bottom blows out of your tack drive, a 5-cent nickel will fit into there perfectly, and then you can just beat the heck out of it with a rock, and it'll get you home just fine. Matter of fact, not only will it get you home just fine, it'll get you by for several years just fine. Ask me how I know. So this hole here is perfectly sized for a nickel, and then you can use a rock to tap it down. Obviously somebody tried to seal this thing and beat the heck out of it with a punch, and then gave up and just sealed it and took the tack off. Oh well, interesting. And that's the way it is. So now I'll spin the motor and see if it spins. It won't. All right, with the tack drive out, let's see if the engine. This by the way, is an old sprocket that I welded head welded a huge socket on. What is this? This is happens to be a 27 millimeter deep socket that just welded on there, and a standard socket here, a leftover 3/4 inch socket welded here, and that gives you enough depth to clear this whole crankshaft, and you can use it to turn an engine over really easy, rather than trying to do it with a pair of vice grips or something and gnarling all this up. All right, let's just go around and whoop, that's as far as it goes. Coming back around, and that's as far as it goes. So, no, the cause of the jam was not the Tach drive. Once again, it could possibly be, as somebody asked about the timing side, it could be the timing gears, but I doubt it. That's a nice sealed case, and I doubt seriously if there's anything wrong in there. I've seen water get into these cylinders. Whichever cylinder is sitting there for 10, 20 years with the intake valve open is the cylinder that lets condensation and or moisture and or I don't know what all into that cylinder, and that moisture just causes the iron piston rings to rust and freeze on the iron barrel assembly and lock up the pistons. And then when you break them free, they can't get past that point. They'll just go up against it and stop. I could probably put a 6-foot cheater bar on this guy and force the pistons past that point, but there's no advantage. If it was even successful in forcing it past that point, you still have to take the engine apart and fix it, because that trench that's been worn, rusted into the cylinder is not going to heal itself. And it could cause catastrophic things such as breaking a ring, jamming a piston, blowing the engine. So anyway, the next step is to take the head off. And if we can get a go ahead on that, I'll let you know how it goes.